So, Paul, this one's for you first. My wife and I are in our 20s and we're looking to buy our first home in the next 6 months or so. We both work full-time with salaried jobs and a combined income of a little over 50,000 per year. We also have really good credit reports as a result of previous borrowing that is now pretty much all paid off. We currently rent privately and we will only have a 5% deposit by the end of our estimated 6-month period. With the new changes to stamp duty, etc., we've done an AIP just to see where we're at, and it's come back saying they'd be prepared to lend us $251,000. I'm after some advice, as the way I see it, we could use Help to Buy to go for a slightly bigger house or buy a smaller one on a normal mortgage.
Okay.
It's tough these days, isn't it? Just to get a deposit. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big
People
problem.
work very hard,
so far
and
as
then
people being able to save, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The 5%, percentage of nothing is nothing. So it's hard for me to say what that actually is. But let's say we assume it's of the 251.
Yeah.
But that may not be, because the 251 might be based upon their income.
Okay.
So there's two ways that lenders look how much they'll lend you.
Yes.
It's serviceability, which for a residential mortgage is how much you earn, and loan to value, which is the 5% they're referring to. So if we say it's 5% of 251, so they've got £12,500 or thereabouts. The Help to Buy option, depending on where they're buying, might be their only option.
Okay.
Your standard residential mortgage is 85%.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at 12.5 grand, unless they're buying somewhere that's pretty cheap, it's comparative to the rest of the country, that may not be an option. Obviously, that's the purpose of Help to Buy, is to help people like this couple that are struggling to get that deposit to actually get into the market. And obviously, that would get them to that 251 mark. But it does just depend on where they are in the country, I suppose, as to what their options are.
Sure.
Because that generally will determine the prices of properties. As to what they should do if they did have the two options, it comes down to their personal situation, I suppose. They're still borrowing the money with Help to Buy, so it still has to be repaid at some point.
Yeah. What is the difference?
Well, the Help to Buy generally relies upon the idea that the property will be worth more at some point in the future, so it kind of makes up for that extra value, but it may not be.
Right, okay.
So there is.
So is it quite hard to get that type of mortgage?
It's not quite hard to get it if you fit the criteria.
Okay, or if the property fits the criteria.
If the property, so it needs to be a new build generally.
Right.
So often new builds will be a bit more expensive than older properties because they're new and they offer all the bells and whistles. But again, it's fairly limited information to provide a full sort of level of guidance as to what the pros and the cons are there. But definitely get advice on those two different types of mortgages and how that suits them and suits some of their plans. But because they're buying this place to live, it's a very personal decision. So generally people aren't willing to move, too far away from where they're comfortable just so they can buy.
They've completely got their life
so,
in a certain
that's
place.
going to have a big impact on things as well. There's the financial side of it and there's the personal side of it. Both need to be considered.
It's just so frustrating for people that once they've got a mortgage sorted out, their monthly payments are so much less than the rent. It's just that rather big hurdle to get over initially, isn't there?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope that's helped.